Yes. Okay. We good. Wait, did I knock this? Why is this like... There we go. Let's see your angle. Okay. Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is a Final Fantasy tier list. I am going to be playing the series from start to finish again. Well, I'm probably not going to play all of them, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to play as many of them as I can handle. When I say I'm not going to play all of them, there are a few that we're just not even going to bother with. That is because... One, I'm like not interested. Like, I'm probably not interested in these games at all. Two, I'm not gonna play through the story quest of Final Fantasy 14 again. Honestly, that'll take me like 2 months of just grinding out nothing but story quests. And I'm not doing that. I'm not. I'm gonna rank them, but I'm not gonna replay that. So those are the exceptions. The other exceptions are games that I can't emulate. So I'm gonna emulate these games. I think it's okay for me to do that because I own or have owned copies of them in the past. When I say in the past, I haven't sold them or anything. It's just they get lost with time. Like, for example, I don't have a copy of Crisis Core anymore, and I don't have a PSP. And I could play the remake. Crisis Core is probably not the best example for this, but like I used to have the PSP copy of Crisis Core. I used to have the DS copy of 12 Revenant Wings. I no longer have a copy of that. I don't know if I can emulate these. I'll probably have to buy them on Steam, but we can deal with that a lot later. We're gonna go in order. So I'm not playing 11. So just straight off the bat, I'm not playing 11. I have no interest in it. If I want to have a look at the story and all of that, I'll probably do like a YouTube thing. That's the best we're gonna get. If I'm going to rank this at the end, I'm gonna like watch the story through a YouTube video. We'll try to get some people to recommend a YouTube video for that. But no 11. We might play Revenant Wings, but like that game wasn't very interesting to start, you know. And we might think about playing Crisis Core. I have the After Years. I don't know how I'm gonna emulate that, but I have. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I like own all of these games on Apple. And I have also owned a lot of them on various different consoles that I no longer have anymore. We had Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on PSPs, the anniversary versions, I think they were. I think that's what they were called. My brother had 2 and I had 1. And then we played them through and we swapped them. So I've owned those. I've got 3 on here, but I also had 3 on 3D, have 4 on 3D. So I played those, the 3D model versions of them. I've played for the After Years. I only play that on Apple, actually. Hold on. Here it is. I'll just spark it up and I can show you. This is the After Years for 4. Alright, let me tap through so that we can... Yeah, the After Years. So I own it. I played through it before. 5 I played... Oh, what did I play 5 on? Oh, Anniversary. Not Anniversary. Anthology on PlayStation 1. So I played through 5 on Anthology. 6 Anthology as well? Or was that 4 and 5? I played 6 somewhere. It's probably like... whatever. I mean, I own 6 on here as well. So it doesn't even matter. Yeah. Hold on. Tap. The ones that I own are not the Pixel remasters, they're the PC ports. I never rebought them for Pixel Remaster. 7 was one of the first PlayStation games that we ever owned. I've got 7 Remake on PS4 and Remaster. 5 is B10. No, you're right. You're right. I'm just going through like because I'm explaining that I'm going to emulate these, and if people get like offended by that, I have owned all of these games before. Some of them I still own, so I'm just explaining like how I own them and showing so that like no one can get like gutted at me for just emulating them, so that I will have them all in one place and it's easier for me. So 7 we own. I've also got 7 on phone here. 8. Spoiler is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time. So like, I'm not even gonna bother. Nah, actually, I'll leave it in there. We'll do that later as part of the video itself. Yes, 8 is going in S. 8 is going in S. Let's not even front. Hold on. What? Fuck. I screwed it up. Let's make it like orange. Oh, it's the same. Fuck. Whatever. Give me pink. Alright, there we go. There we go. 8 has its own category. It's going right at the top. I know it. Everyone knows it. If you hate 8, you're just a fucking idiot. I hate you. Best Final Fantasy. Anyway, my favorite game of all time. I've owned it like 7,000 times. I've got it on. I've still got the original box from PS1. We got that through. So New Zealand and I think Australia had this thing called Flybys. And it was like when you went to like the petrol stations and stuff, you would get points, and eventually you could like you'd get catalogs every month or whatever with things that you could buy. And Final Fantasy VIII was in one of those, and I convinced my mum to use her Flybys points to buy us a copy of 8, and it was the greatest game I've ever played. It's my favorite game of all time. So owned that. I have 9 on phone as well. It's extracting the files. You can see Zidane there. So I own it. 10 and 10.2 I've got on PlayStation through the remaster. 12 used to own it. Might have to buy the Zodiac blah 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 version. Riven Wings, we talked about that earlier, have owned it and no longer have a copy. So we're probably going to have to emulate that or... fuck it, that's going in not playing. I'm going to rank it, but so that we can see before we start it, the ones that I'm not going to play are going to go up here. I'm not playing Light Returns, Final Fantasy 13. I have no desire to play that game. No desire whatsoever. It looks garbage. The like fucking clock countdown shenanigans and stuff, and if you run out of time, like I hate those kind of games, man. This game does not appeal to me whatsoever. I will not be playing it. However, I will. What happened to my music? I will be playing 13 and 13.2. Again, I'm gonna put this down and not playing. We have played it. I'm not replaying it because I'm not going through like fucking 2 months of just straight story quests. But we are going to rank the expansions. So I'm not playing it, but ranking it. 15 I got on PS4. 16 I got on PS5. Tactics, I had the War of the Lion version on PSP. We're going to be emulating that version. Tactics Advance and Tactics Advance 2 I had on DS. Yeah, DS. Both of them were DS. I don't remember Tactics Advance at all, but I do remember Tactics Advance 2. Type 0 is going on not play. Maybe I should give it another go. I have no desire to play this game. I try to play it. I gave the copy that I have of PS3 to my friend Ian, who is in chat right now. I gave him that. I think it was PS3, maybe it was PS4. It came free with a different game that we got. What did we buy that it gave us a free copy of Type 0? Would it have been Final Fantasy 13? Maybe 13.2? Some Square Enix game came with a free copy of Type 0. Yeah, no. So it came with the PS4, but one of the games that we got with the PS4, it came as like a double, right? Is that not how it worked? Or did Mum get us Type 0 and Bloodborne when we got the PS4? My brother's in chat. My brother can verify that I have and have owned all of these games that we're talking about. This is a hard one because I'm not ranking these here yet. These two games I want to put in not playing because I have no desire to play them. We didn't get the PS4 on release though. We got the PS4 like fucking years later, you know? It was just part of the bundle. Yeah, okay. It's cool. Anyway, regardless, owned Type 0. No longer have a copy because I gave that to Ian, but we can find a way to emulate this. I have no desire to play whatever of Paradise. I can't remember what this letter stands for. It's like Sins of Paradise or something. That is the Final Fantasy 1 remake sequel thing, the Souls-like version of it. I don't like Souls-like games, but I might do it, okay? We might play this one if we get to the end of the series and we're feeling it, so... For now, it's going in not playing because I can't rank it. I've never played it. And World of Final Fantasy also going in here. I haven't played it. Cannot rank it. So, or actually, let's make another chair. Add a row below. Oh my, please. Okay, so these two are going down in here. So we can't rank them, we haven't played them. Whether we decide to play them later on, that's fine. This can also go here. Cool. So that's the premise. Let's get into it. Final Fantasy 1. Simple, kind of clean, very... How would you put it? Well, like first off, it's like going C. Like I don't think it's going to go any higher than it might get bumped up to B, depending on like where I get to with the rest of these. It was just simple. Obviously, it came out in what, like 1980 or something, 89, something like real early. It was like one of the first story-based games ever, and it looked like kind of, well, like retrospectively, looked like garbage going all the way back then. However, at the time, it probably looked really, really good. It was simplistic. The story is straightforward. It did have a little bit of a twist. We're not going to get into spoilers or things like that, but it had a little bit of a twist with the main villain and things. A generic game, great basis for where the game started, and a good like guiding light to see where the series went from then on. I think we're gonna stay C, but we'll see. Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 2. D-tier. This game's garbage. My brother will disagree. My brother really liked this one, I believe. But the leveling mechanics in this one, where like you had to use certain weapon types or certain spells over and over and over again to level up that one thing, and to get more health you had to lose health, and to get more attack you had to attack things, to get more magic you had to use more magic, and just like grinding that over and over and over. Like, fuck that game, man. And the like people say that the keyword system where you would like talk to people, find out like a saying, and then go back and blah 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 blah, go back and like reuse phrases to like talk to people and get new information. Yeah, cool. I don't want to revisit like towns all the time. Fuck it. Shit game, shit mechanics. Just get off my screen, really. Not excited to replay this one here, but my opinion might change now that it's been like 15 years since I played it. Yeah, it was the Dawn of Time. I thought it was called the what's it called? The anniversary version, but it was Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Time. Correct. Final Fantasy 3. I really need to know where I'm going to be placing the rest of these before I like place this. It's going to be A or B. For now, we're going to go B to be safe. It may bump up to like the bottom of A, depending on like what else goes into B and whatnot. Final Fantasy 3 is a fun game. I really enjoy Final Fantasy 3 actually. Not a lot of people do. They say it's a really hard Final Fantasy. It doesn't hold your hand. A lot of evolutions to the series. I love the job system. The story was kind of generic, but it was fun. It was the first time that they kind of like tried to go out of their way to create like more of a like a longer story than what Final Fantasy 1 was. The dungeons were quite cool. There were some like interesting new like gimmick dungeons, like the ones where you can't use metal armor. You had to use like cloth armor and stuff because it was like a magnetized field. And it was the first Final Fantasy to introduce like underwater, I believe. Good game, like solid basis. If 1 and 2 didn't exist and this was the first Final Fantasy, it would be like this is the carbon copy of what a Final Fantasy is. This at its like most stripped down version of what the series is, it's Final Fantasy 3. 4 S tier. S tier easily. I think 4 is one of the best Final Fantasies I've ever played. I love that they in this game they started to give you, well, they did it in 2 as well, where they gave you like a set main cast and that was your main cast, and you didn't really like get like, well, so you had people that would come in and leave and then go out and all that kind of stuff there, but you had like a core crew that you played with, and then you would like add and remove people and all that kind of stuff there, and like really centralized who the main characters were, both like antagonists and protagonists, which you didn't really have in 3. 3, you were playing as like four nameless orphans, and like they didn't really have a story. You just like went through the world and you were the chosen ones. 4 solidified like characters as the main characters. They brought back that element that's from 2 that was missing from 3. And I loved it. The story is great. The cast of, I think it's about like 12, 13 characters that like come and join and come in and out and blah, blah, blah. Great. I love the ending party when you get to the end of the game. The 5 characters that they give you for that. Most of them have a lot of character development. One of them you met like, I don't know, 2 hours before the final dungeon, and all he does is flirt. So he doesn't really have a character, but he's a ninja, and that's cool. So, just a really solid game overall. The first time where they kind of like sat down and was like, this is Final Fantasy. The after years. Surprisingly, I actually really like the after years. I think that the additions to the story are really cool. You get to kind of see where the characters went beyond that. These are all great things that you're going to see me like use as like that I'm going to use in future to downplay another sequel to another mainline game. But in this case, it really worked for me. Going back and like seeing where these characters had gone, meeting new characters, meeting children of some of the characters from 4, and then seeing where all of that led to. It's a fun game, and like a lot of people thought it was really hard, which like whatever, man. That game was like one of the easier Final Fantasies that I've ever played. Although I did only play the Apple Store like remaster version of it, not the original one. But the one that I played, it's not very hard at all. And I really enjoyed the like 50 level boss rush ending thing. It doesn't really add anything to the story, but like you kind of just test different parties and all that kind of stuff as you go through. I think it's a pretty good game. Like depending on where some of the rest of these ones sit, it might bump down to like top of A, but like for now, for me it's an S. 5. It's not 2. It's probably here. It's better than 1. It's good. Like it's like there's like a margin of difference between these two. Like this is so basic, and this was fun as shit, you know. Yeah, decent game. It kind of went off the rails and lost me a little bit with like the alien stuff and another world and meteors crashing down and like X Death was a tree and like it was just all this weird shit that was going on that kind of like I didn't really like get down with the story overall, so it just never really like grabbed me. And like as far as like Final Fantasies go, like what is it? Sap is the fucking status condition that they gave to literally everything in this game. Like, oh, it just made it unbearable to play. The encounter rate was like so annoying. You couldn't walk 2 steps without getting an encounter. It just felt bad. Like I wasn't really. I've convinced myself to bring it down. It's down here. It just made playing Final Fantasy, like as a Final Fantasy, it just made playing Final Fantasy miserable. Like anything you could do to make the combat mechanics of this game, it's pretty serious. It's a pretty simple overall, like combat mechanic turn based, and to make that as measurable as possible by giving literally the entire game sap, like just get me out. 6, probably a hot take. Does nothing for me, man. It throws 20 characters like at you, and it goes, "This is the largest ensemble cast of a Final Fantasy ever," and there's a reason why they didn't continue to do larger 20-man ensemble casts where like half of the people there just don't even do anything. They're just there to walk alongside you. Um, do I care about the story? Do I care about the antagonist? Not at all, man. Like, Terror is just amnesiac that's like mind controlled by the Empire for all of 3 minutes in the game, so you don't really get to see the effect of that whatsoever. And when she comes out of it, she can't remember anything. And oh, it's just a fucking. That's just so boring. Like people talk about this like it's like the pinnacle of gaming, and all I can remember is you just walk around doing fuck all, and then you go to an opera house and Celis sings, and then somehow you're in the clouds, and then the world's in ruin because Kefka moved the statue, and then you're like regathering all these people by revisiting all the same places to climb a tower to go and fight. Like he's no longer a clown, he's now like a fucking Da Vinci painting. Come on, man. Like this game sucks. You can't tell me that any of that is good. You just retread the entire game, and he destroys the world by like moving a statue. Ugh, like just get over it. Like this game is not good. It will never be good. It sucks so hard, and I know I'm missing like a lot of the nuances. I just don't really want to get into it. Like none of it ever lands for me. I just think it is like hot garbage. If I could remove a game from the series, it wouldn't be 2, it wouldn't be 1, and somehow it wouldn't be 5. It would be 6. I would remove that game altogether. I think the series would be better off for it. So there's that. That's probably going to ruffle some people's feathers, but you know, everyone has opinions. Pardon me, I'm sick. A crisis score. A. Uh, B. A. B. It's somewhere in here. We're gonna go A for now because I think it's like marginally better than 3. But like as we add more of these games into it, I think it's gonna like start slipping down. You know. Crisis Core was an interesting game. Like typically I don't like action RPGs, but it was like the bare minimum of an action RPG. You know what I mean? You still had menuing to like select all your skills. It was just in the form of like using your left and right triggers on your PSP at the time because I played it on PSP to like move between skills and all that kind of stuff. And so you'd like move through skills and like use different elements and things instead of like using up and down to like go through menus to do it. And you can control your character. It was like the movement you could like actually physically move Zack around. Like it was okay. I didn't like the story elements. Well, I liked some of the story elements, and then it just went all completely off the rails. Like I hated everything to do with Genesis. I wish like if Genesis was just completely pulled out of that game, thrown away, and then you had like a dynamic between Angel and Sephiroth, and like we just talked about how Zack got to Nibelheim. I think it would be a better game for that if we just stripped away all of the Genesis elements. So, uh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing it. I'll probably enjoy playing it again. I don't see why I wouldn't enjoy playing this again. Um, but I don't think it's like the pinnacle of Final Fantasy. You know what I mean? 7. Yeah, see, this is gonna bump down the after years for me. Like, I don't think the after years is a better game than 7, but I also don't think 7 is S. Uh, I'm giving it too much credit. I don't like 7 as much as a lot of people like 7. It was my first Final Fantasy, and like typically that's like 7 is usually wait, why did my music stop? 7 is usually the one where a lot of people tell you to play, or it was the first Final Fantasy, or it's the one that clicks for them the most. Um, because I played this, I would have been like, I came out, I would have been like 6, 5 or 6 when this game hit my region. So I'm from New Zealand. New Zealand is part of the PAL region, which is like Pacific, Asia, and something which is usually Europe, and like includes Europe and then like Southeast Asia and stuff. For gaming, when we got games back then, it was like 2 years after they released in like North America, really. So I think it released in '97 for North America, and then 90 or maybe '96. And then 97 on PC for America. I think it came like 98, 99 for New Zealand. Um, and so like by the time we like PlayStations and Final Fantasy 7 was released for us, 8 was already like released in the States, I believe. Or was like just releasing. And we got 8 like 2 years after that as well. So it was like a really weird timeline. I'm trying to remember like all this stuff like as I was a 6-year old, you know. Anyway, all of this is to say that as a child, this didn't stick to me. But I put in like 1,000 hours into it. I would just run around and hit things and keep summoning the summons and blah 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 blah. And I thought that was so cool, just summoning things. But the story itself never really stuck with me, so I never really had that nostalgia factor. And then as like a preteen or like a teenager, I go and replay it, and it doesn't stick with me again. Like I'm just not really into the story it's trying to tell. It just doesn't like click with me then. And then I try and play it as an adult because I'm like, oh, well, like it is a really mature story, and it must have just been something that I completely missed. You know, some of this, I had to have missed something here if everyone's telling me this is the greatest game of all time. And so I try and replay it as an adult, and it still just doesn't click for me. The problem that I have with the game is how convoluted everything gets around Sephiroth. I think that if this game was like about the eco-terrorism and about the consumerism of Shinra and didn't and like it kept going with that and it didn't turn into a slay the alien god um I don't know how to explain it. Like, it didn't turn into like that convoluted mess where you're fighting like like one-winged angel Sephiroth, and he's like this almighty being that's like fused with a alien from space, and it just kind of gets stupid. And the stuff with the ancients, I don't fuck with that at all, really. Like, it just none of that appeals to me. If it was about the terrorism and the like bleeding the planet of life and the like anti-consumerism messages about like how Shinra runs it has a monopoly on like the power market and like pretty much the entire world, and they're starting wars everywhere and stuff, and it went like down like a political route for that kind of stuff there instead of getting into like god slaying and stuff, I think it would be a better game for it. And it just missed the landing for me. Um, I don't vibe with it at all, if I'm being honest. But that is to say that in terms of gameplay, it was one of the better Final Fantasies overall. I liked all the secrets that you could go and do. I liked the mini games that were like strewn throughout the game. With like snowboarding and like the gold saucer stuff and motorbike chases, that was like a big sequence in Midgar that eventually just became a mini game of the gold saucer as well. And like little things like that, like the charm that was put throughout the world, the game itself, great. Just the like direction that the story took and like the way it went for me wasn't for me at all. So it kind of like it falls off. It's not a bad game whatsoever. I like the secrets and stuff, and because I played the PAL version, we had Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon, and so the challenge compared to a lot of these other earlier Final Fantasies was like through the roof. Um, it was great in that aspect, and I can't take that away from this game. 7 Remake. Can I hate this game more? It's not here because the gameplay was actually pretty fun, and it's like here. It's above 6, below 3. Um, I am a generational hater of this game. I loved playing it, and I loved like watching the like little extra details come through, and blah 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 blah, all of that. Um, so like as you're going through the story of the first 7, like it's adding little extra details and things, and loved it. And then they changed the ending of the game and made you face Sephiroth there. And it wasn't like that you were actually fighting Sephiroth. You were fighting a Kingdom Hearts boss. You were fighting a Heartless. And it made no fucking sense. And I hated the Force Ghosts. I don't know what they're actually called, but I call them Force Ghosts, like in reference to Star Wars. Just these things that would like come and just move people and like revive Barrett, and I hated it, man. It's like, don't do it in the first place if you just want to rewind all of the shit with your like shitty plot thing, and people want to tell you that it's like, oh, it's a self-insert for players and what like players' expectations are and blah blah blah. Like, just get it out, man. It's so stupid. It ruined the entire experience for me. Like, if it didn't exist, this game would be higher. It'd probably be higher than the normal 7, but it does exist, and it just ruined my entire immersion for it. Um, there is a second. There is Rebirth that's not on this list. I just realized. We are going to use. Let's use Final Fantasy 11 because everyone knows I'm not going to play Final Fantasy 11. I'm just going to put this one here on the list. If people skip to the end of it and think that I ranked like 11 lowly or whatever, blah blah. But this is like a little Easter egg for those who did watch through, like actually watch through this tier list. I think that Rebirth is probably better than the original 7. This indicating Rebirth. I have my problems with Rebirth as well. Uh, the gameplay was amazing. It had the additions to the story that I really liked from Remake. So like extending scenes, adding more charm and things. I love Aerith. She's like, I'm in love with her as a human being. If she was real, I would be in love with her. And the way that they fleshed out like almost all of the characters that came through, amazing. And then they went into the same thing, but they did it in a different way. You face Bizarro Sephiroth, so it's not like a Kingdom Hearts boss this time. But it's like they brought that all the way forward from the first um disc. And they also changed the way things happen for Cloud. I hate it. Yeah, yeah. No, nah, I'm not gonna explain it at the end. I'm not gonna explain it at the end. If people want to come in here and say like, "Where was Rebirth?" and blah 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 blah, this is an Easter egg for the people that actually watched through. This is how I'm gonna do it. I lost my train of thought, so screw you. um, so you go through all the way to the end, and I loved like 95% of this game. I didn't like the City of the Ancients or the Temple of the Ancients, I think it was, where Cloud starts acting really weird. I hated the Tifa getting knocked into the life stream by Cloud, and then there's just like live stream whale weapons that just exist, and they just like swim through and they take her to like none of that made any sense and didn't have to be in the game at all. um I didn't like the like dream sequences of the did Sephiroth kill Aerith? Did he not kill Aerith? Oh my god, he didn't. Oh, but it's a fake out. He did. Oh, but Cloud doesn't know. Like my stance on it, and I know like a lot of people have a lot of opinions on this here. My stance on it was pick a direction and stick to that direction. And what it felt like was insulting to me as a player. It felt like they were trying to have their cake and eat it too, where it was like, oh, is she alive? Oh, no, she's dead. Oh, maybe she is alive. Maybe she could be alive. Oh, look, Cloud's talking to her ghost afterwards. But is it a ghost? No one else can see her. And then, it was just a confusing pile of shit. And it just felt like nobody had any commitment to the cause whatsoever. And that ruins that ending of that game for me. That would have been a perfect remake for me if they had have just committed to killing Aerith or having Aerith live. Pick one of them, right? Don't give me this like flip flopping bullshit in between the fake out into it's just really I hated it. And I've seen reviews and things of people saying like, oh, it's just people just don't get it. But like I can't get that feeling back. The first impression matters. I can't ever have that first impression feeling back of that. This is just convoluted dog shit. And so it reduced it for me in the end. It's only A tier, but up into that, all the gameplay all the way through, all of the like middle parts, the new areas, the exploration, the mini games, the charm of the game, it's all there. So I have to give it points for that. It's definitely not remake down here where it ruined the entire game for me. It's up here. It's probably still better than the original 7. Final Fantasy 8. It's there. Best game of the series, in my opinion. This game is near and dear to my heart. We talked about it with Seven, how they were like came out very, very close together. We I also talked in the intro about like how I came to get this game through hounding my mother to get it through flybys. It gets here, and I play through it as like a 6 or 7 year old at this time. I can't remember exactly when. I think it was the year 2000 that it came to New Zealand. It might have been 99. And it just like everything about this game clicked for me. I love Squall as a character. When I was a kid, I just thought he was so cool. When I was a teenager, I could understand him. And now that I'm an adult, I sympathize with him, the things that he's gone through, the traumatic experiences and things. I understand why he's a character like how he is. And then you'll watch reviews from people that'll go, well, he's just a whiny little kid. Like, he's supposed to be leading this army. He's just a whiny little, like, piece of shit, basically. And he just does nothing. And all he does is just get really angsty to all his friends and stuff. And like, I'm sitting there, and people will say, like, that's just not a realistic character. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, that's exactly who I was when I was 16. I was an angsty piece of shit that would tell everyone whatever all the time, you know? Uh, hey, guys, do you want to hang out this weekend? And someone will go, oh, no, I've got plans with someone else. Like, whatever. And then I would just, like, cut them out, shut them out, shut down. Like, it all makes sense for the age group that these kids are in, the stress that they're under. They're trained to be like war, like the organization is Seed, but like they're trained to basically go to war with sorcerers, and they war between the gardens and war between the between cities and states and things. Traumatized kids are going to act like this, and it's like the perfect encapsulation of all of that. It has its flaws for sure, flaws that I think that they could easily solve in a remake. Not the style where you add in force ghosts and all that kind of stuff there, but like to me the game was perfect. I loved the romance. I loved the um some people call it flip-flopping of Squall, where one minute he's like, ugh, whatever, I just don't even want to be here, don't talk to me, I don't care, I'm better than you, blah blah blah, and he's in his ego bag and he's like shutting all the whole world off. And then he's flip-flopping into like, oh, I love Renault, I'm gonna do anything for her. But like, to me, that's kind of what being a teenager is like. You're just this angsty piece of shit, and all of a sudden, there's this one person, like for me in my life, there's just this one girl that comes along, and like, you just don't want to be a piece of shit anymore, and it changes your fucking life because you're a teenager. You're going through these experiences for the first time. It makes sense to me, and like, you're not going to do it right off the bat, and Squall doesn't. And people were saying it's unrealistic for he just tries to do all of these like do everything for her, and he completely changes the way he acts and stuff. It's like that's what it's like to be a teenager. You just go and do dumb shit, and then you learn from it. And we're experiencing Squall being a teenager, coming out of a shell and starting to do dumb shit, and it's just perfect for me. It does get a little bit stupid with the like time things, but I can forgive it because I love Ultima Seer's Castle. I think Ultima Seer's Castle is the best in-game dungeon in any Final Fantasy. I love the way that they did it. It's For me, it's a masterpiece. For me, okay, and this is like going a little bit off track. Up until Expedition 33 that I played 2 months ago, 5 weeks ago, was my favorite RPG, turn-based RPG of all time. Now is Expedition 33, but Final Fantasy 8 will always be my favorite Final Fantasy, for all of those reasons. I think it is an amazing game. I love the junction system. I love that you can get broken so early into the game. You can just break the entire game. I like that you don't even have to engage with that mechanic if you don't want to. You can just make the game as easy or as hard as you want to, and it's just fun. I think it's so fun, and I understand people's frustrations where they don't understand it, so they can't engage with the game in the way that they want to, and that there's like these giant tutorial text boxes and all that kind of stuff there. But I don't have to go through those because I understood it. I understood it as a 6-year-old. I understand it as a 30-year-old man. I love it. I can just bash X through those tutorials and then just like break the game as easily as I want to, or do like high level runs where I have like low level magic and stuff and just try and make the game hard. It's gorgeous. I love this game. I can't talk about how much I love this game like enough. I can't do it enough. Final Fantasy 9. It's somewhere. It's either like no, it's about 4. What am I talking about? This probably goes up. I don't think it's like in the same category as this. 9. Great game. Sorry, I got distracted. 9 is a great game. So this is my experience with 9. I come off of 8. 8 is my favorite game ever as a child. It's my favorite game ever as a teenager. It's my favorite game ever as an adult. I excited for the new Final Fantasy. It comes out, and I go to play it, and they all look like short little. I can't even. I know the word is chibi, but at the time I just hated the design of the characters, and I could not get into what it was saying, and I didn't give it a fair shot, and I barely made it to disc 2. I think it was the 4-disc game. Barely made it to disc 2, and so I hated it. And so if we were evaluating it off my first impressions, it's the only Final Fantasy that I never finished as a child. But we're not basing it off of that. We are basing it off of my second attempt to play through it. So many, many, many years later, I think I would have been like 16 or 17 or something. I come back to it because I'm doing replays of. This is about the time that I'm playing like 6 and 5 and I think like 3 and 4 remakes had come out on the 3D and on the DS and all that kind of stuff there. So I eventually, through playing through a combination of these and then eventually going back through 7 and 8, go, well, screw it, I'm just going to play 9. I didn't give it a fair shot when I was a kid. Maybe I'll like it now. And I'm so glad that I did. Great game. I love Zidane. I love his character. I love that he's like campy and he tries to be suave, but he's not really. And he's like a little bit of a flirt, but he's not successful with it. But he still tries anyway, and he's got this thing about like he loves women, and I love women, so I get it. You know, I know what it's like to like try to speak to women and then like not be successful, but you think you're just being so suave about it, and you're just really not. Like everyone's had that experience before. If you're a straight male or a not straight female, you've had this experience of where you've tried to talk to a cute girl and it just doesn't quite go your way. And like I get that vibe from Zidane overall. I like the like combat mechanics, the new things that they added. I like that the stealing in this game actually meant something. You can get some really, really cool items. I love Chocobo Hot and Cold and the chocographs. I like the progression of the story. I like the like the way that they integrated Eidolons into the main narrative. It was a great game overall. It doesn't quite reach the same heights of like I'm not as passionate for 9 as I am for 8, and so I can't put it like really up into that same place. But uh, when I was a teenager and I rediscovered it, I was so glad that I did. I think it's a great game. 10. Where am I putting 10? I probably like it more than 7 Remake or Rebirth. But I think what this is going to do is it's actually going to pull this down into here. And then this is going to have to go here. And this will go down here. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay. 10. I wish I had a better first impression with this game. Like, so, for those who don't know, I had a very spoiled childhood, okay? Like, I am blessed. I was blessed with parents who, to this day, still love me very much, and they used to give me everything that I wanted as a child, mostly. However, Final Fantasy was always, I thought that I was entitled to Final Fantasy in my family. I have 2 brothers. I have an older brother and a younger brother. My older brother didn't really care for any of this, but my younger brother, he also kind of liked Final Fantasy, and he was bought a copy of 10 from his godparents. And so Final Fantasy X was my younger brother's Final Fantasy. It was not my Final Fantasy. And so, when did it come out? 2001? I think it was 2002 here for New Zealand. So when I was 8 or 9, um, I hated this game. No, it's not my Final Fantasy, so I hate it. I'm not going to play it. And unfortunately, that experience shaped my feelings about this game for a long time. To this day, I still can't shake it. That like I just don't like this game. It's just like a visceral feeling for it. I admit that it is a good game, and I've watched many YouTube videos like later on and replayed it a couple times myself to like form my own opinions on it and things, and to have like things that like I didn't get to enjoy back when I first like experienced this game way back. I don't really know where I was going with that point. I like some of the magic kind of. I didn't get to experience the magic of this game. I got to like it got kind of taken away from me, and then I had to experience it through other people and hear other people's like opinions on it more, so that I got to like form my own opinions on it. And so I'll never really have that that ability to have that experience back. And I think that takes away a little bit of the magic from me. I can admit it's a great game. I love the fact that you can swap your party members in and out. Depending on the situation and all that kind of stuff. I love that you can actually control the summons when you summon them. I like Yuna's character. I like its core message about like religion in general and how indoctrinating people typically leads to unexpected results in the future. All of that kind of stuff there, like all of the themes of it should resonate with me a lot. It's just that first experience that I had with the game that just doesn't shine for me in that same way. So I feel like it probably would have been up here if I didn't have that experience with it at the start, but because I did, it has to go down here for me. 10 to it's better than 1. It's probably not better than 5. There are things that I like about this game. I like that it went back to A to B. So, like you actually had like a time and a flow to battle more so than like, and 12 you would have like a box that was up here in the top corner that would like show turn orders and stuff. This more like it was more free flowing and things like that. I like the switching from the job garments and all that kind of stuff there. It's just the story didn't really have a lot of substance. It was just like a whole lot of fucking around, and then eventually Titus revived, you know what I mean? 12. One of my favorite Final Fantasies of all time. The things that I wanted Final Fantasy VII to do, where like it went more political, and was more about like the terrorism and political aspects of the game. How Final Fantasy VII didn't do that. Final Fantasy XII did do that. It did remain consistent with the geopolitics and states of the world and things. And in general, the Evil East games have always been like this. Like Tactics is like this. 12 was like that. I think Tactics Advance 2 was also an Evil East. I can't remember if Tactics Advance was. But Evil East based games always Vagrant Story. Just political in general. I love political stories. I love political based stories, so this really worked for me. You can tell that it was kind of designed around being an MMO. It's got like those like MMO elements, and it never became an MMO, but I think they like took elements from like 11 and put them just into 12, so they didn't have to do like 2 lots of work for 2 different games. You know what I mean? But loved it. I understand people's frustrations with Van being an insert, but like I don't mind insert characters because I just insert myself into the main character anyway. So if he's got no personality, that's less things can like clash with me, and I just pretend that I'm the person that's in the game with them, and so yeah, and like it would work for me. I love Balthier, I love Fran. I love their stories, like the backstories and things, with Fran being like an exiled Vera from the Mistwoods, I think they're called, and Balthier, well, those two being sky pirates in a partnership that go around and I guess they like plunder dungeons and find treasure and stuff. and how Balthier is Sid's son from what was the name of the city? Andromeda, something like that. Archimedes, Archimedes, Arcadia, something like that. It's like one of those types of words. You know what I mean? I think it is Arcadia, actually. Anyway, the son of Sid, who is like a researcher there, and he's actually like a noble born son that ended up going to become a sky pirate. Love that story. Love the Bosch from Ronsenberg fake out where like you kind of you see that he kills the king in the starting moments of the game. Kills the king? Does it kill the king? It kills Rex. Someone. No, yeah, the king does die. But then it ends up being his twin brother Gabranth, and you find Bosch. You have to like clear his name, and love that story. It was a fun game, and I also really liked the like finding all the espers going through the game. Are they called espers in this game? I think they were finding all the espers and all like different random places, and it was a great game. I can't praise it enough. 13. My first impression of this as a like 19 or 20-year-old that was trying to cope so hard was that it's an S tier game. I was trying to cope that it was like better than I thought it was, you know. It's not. There are a lot of mistakes that happen with this game. Like realistically, it's probably here. It's not better than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, it was really ambitious. Like the graphics and stuff were really cool. I liked Lightning as a character, but I hated Snow. I hated Hope. Well, I liked Hope, but I hated Snow and Snow and Hope's like dynamic. It just wasn't for me, man. And so, it, I don't know, like Vanille just moaning everywhere. It sucked. I just didn't enjoy that. Fang was kind of like there are characters that you know are just written to be strong feminine leads, and it's not that I don't like strong feminine leads because I liked Lightning, but characters that are like written to be they're basically just a male character, but they just make the gender female. That's what I felt like Fang was. Lightning is like a strong feminine character with feminine traits. And you know, like you could not just like gender swap her and it would make sense. Fang, you could just absolutely gender swap her and it would make more sense than her being a woman in my beliefs. And so that like was really jarring to me. That felt like it was like an inclusion, not an inclusion based thing, because I don't know how to explain it. She just didn't really feel like a real character to me. Didn't like Fang so much. And then Saz was like just there, and Sierra was like at this point, from what we know, Sierra, she's just this like manic pixie dream girl that Snow's like completely in love with, and blah blah. Like, she's just this abstract thing that you never really get to know, and so your motivation isn't really there to be like saving her and stuff. It just didn't like vibe with me at all. However, like things that I did like that Sid was an antagonist for the first time in this game. It's hard to call him an antagonist because it wasn't like he was like directly trying to like attack our party. He more became a Seath, and then but blah blah blah. But anyway, like he had an antagonistic type role in this game, and so that was fun. But overall, it kind of goes down here. 32. This feels right. I think I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna do this. Like there's like a gap between these, but then there's a gap between these. I think. Yeah, yeah, I think that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Uh, Question is like, is it this? No, I like 13-2 better than I like Final Fantasy 7. 13-2, interesting game. You swap out the main characters, but you still a familiar face in Sarah. You get Noel, who was like a great character. I really enjoyed Noel. You also get Caius, who is the main antagonist. Lightning is like around somewhere, and Etro's like pocket dimension. I don't really know what to call it. Oh, the music stopped again. Oh, I don't notice it when it happens. I liked the like time travel shenanigans, traveling like between like areas. Like you would go somewhere and then you would travel to that same place 1,000 years in the future, and something would happen. Or you can go 1,000 years in the past and change something, and that will affect the future, or like divert into a new timeline, and all that kind of stuff was really cool and really interesting. I liked the creature capture aspect of the game. I liked that the like auto battle type system had been changed slightly, but you still had the um, um I can't remember the. Oh, it's got like a stupid name. Paradigm shift. Paradigm shift mechanic where you can like switch between essentially jobs. It's like the job based system in this one. To things like synergists and commandos and ravagers and like I can't remember all the names of them. But like it was really really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. So it earns its spot here directly in the middle. Not a bad game. Not the greatest game of all time. A Realm Reborn. Uh, Here's the thing: am I evaluating A Realm Reborn like when it came out, or am I evaluating A Realm Reborn and the like comparative to the rest of um these expansions? Because when it first came out, like, I had such a blast with it. It was really fun, and it was really fun doing things like on release, like rating and things. I used to play it on PS3 of all things. I played the beta for it in 2011, 2012, somewhere around that timeline. I was Bardman. I had a lot of fun with it. I loved doing the Binding Call of Bahamut, doing the extreme fights for Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda. And I think by the time I finished, Ultimate Weapon had come out. So if we were to like base it off of like my experience when I first played it, I had a great time then. But like in terms of my experience, like as it is compared to some of these other expansions, it's probably done here. It's a slog to get through if you ever have to like start another account again. It's a slog for new players to go through, and even then, it's been like shut down. It's not on content anymore, so you're not doing it with other players so much. You kind of need friends to go along with you to make it bearable. And so, based on that, as an experience, it's probably down here in C. Now, Heaven's Ward is a little bit better. Heaven's Ward, like usually, it like brings people like into the game. Like, by the time you get to Heaven's Ward, like the game starts to like come into its own and start to make sense. Like the foundations have been laid, so you get to actually start to tell a story, and that's cool. It's decent. It was my favorite expansion. So for Stormblood and Shadowbringers, I didn't play these on content at all. So I played Heaven's Ward maybe like, oh god, was it like 2013? I think it came out around like 2013, 2014. I played that big like gap in time until like end of Endwalker, pretty much. So I skipped all of these, but I played this like almost on content. There was like 2 or 3 patches of the Endwalker by the time I like caught up. So I was doing this like kind of as we got to it. Anyway, Stormblood as an experience playing through it, it was like okay. But again, I had the same experience where we went through it, but it wasn't on content, and so we were like waiting for dungeons a lot, and it kind of became a slog. Shadowbringers was like much better, and I love the theme song of this. I think Shadowbringers, even though I didn't play it on content like how I did with Heaven's Ward, I think it's like here, maybe here. I know a lot of people that were like playing it on content and doing like the savage rating and blah blah blah. They didn't like this one as much, but I didn't do this. Like as a casual fan, I really like Shadowbringers, and I like the like Gunbreaker roll, so that was cool to have in there. Endwalker, great. Had a great time with Endwalker. I think it's S tier. I think it's probably better than Final Fantasy 4, and yeah, it's probably here. Great ending to the end of the story. People said like the whole patch cycle dragged a lot at the end there, but like it was understandable because it was like leading into a whole new adventure, and so like if you take that into account, obviously it's going to be like it's not going to be as cohesive. Like you're transitioning out of like a 10-year story arc and into what you would hope would be another 10-year story arc. That's like if there's ever going to be a lull period, that's the exact time where it's going to be. Like I didn't understand the hatred that a lot of people had for this here, but they were saying they're getting burnt out and all that kind of stuff there. You're just engaging with the game wrong if I'm being honest. Dawn Trail was like the first time that I actually started to do like beyond, so I did like high tier in game stuff and around Reborn, but I never really like tried it on content again until I got to Dawn Trail. So for me, Dawn Trail was a really fun experience, and I love Viper. Like if Viper was released all the way back in around Reborn, I would have played Viper all the way through. But it wasn't. It was in Dawn Trail. I love it. I love the way that it flows. I love how fast it is. I love that it's like a little bit brainless. So I'm not like considering if I did this here instead, like it's a little bit more damage output, but like this buffs my team and all. Nah, just brain off. Hit the shiny buttons. Do fun stuff. Look cool while doing it. Go Super Saiyan God mode. Blue form. Go like as fast as possible. Great. Loved it. So for me, Dawn Trail is probably the best expansion, but a lot of people won't like agree with me on that one either. But just personal experience and the way that I experience all of this, it's how it is. The other thing that we're gonna do is like my main classes as I went through. So I started. We were Bard and around Reborn. We went to Dragoon and Heaven's Ward, and Stormblood. We were. When I did Stormblood, I was doing it with my 4 friends. I think I was playing. Like by this time, Dancer had come out. Dancer was Endwalker. No, Dancer was Shadowbringer. No, Stormblood. Dancer was Stormblood. So I switched over to Dancer here. Yes, yeah. Okay, I remember now. Dancer and Stormblood. I continued to play Dancer through Shadowbringer, but I was like a Dancer and all the way up to Endwalker, and then I became no, I became a Dancer and Sage main for Shadowbringer, which I know doesn't make sense because Sage wasn't released then, but by the time I actually went through Shadowbringer, it already was, and you had to like. You got more than enough experience to get to like level 80 for me to like start the quest for, and so you could just like, go and grab it and be 80. So I could do like Sage stuff in this expansion. So I was playing Sage here, and then again dual role Sage and Dancer for Endwalker, but I also picked up Gunbreaker, and I think I was playing Reaper for my melee. Yeah, I think I was playing Reaper for my melee. So by this time, I had like one for each class except for magic range. But then I picked the monster in Dawn Trail. So by the time we got to Dawn Trail, we were Dancer for Fizz range, we were Sage for healer, we were Gunbreaker still for tank, we played Viper as melee DPS, and we played Dancer as our Fizz range. So that was my journey through Final Fantasy 14. I need to get back in the sub because Occult Crescent just came out, and that sounds like it's gonna be fun as fuck. Final Fantasy 15. Oh, it's a weird one to place. I loved it when I played it, but I never like it was a game that I could never replay. I tried to go back to give it another shot, and I just couldn't. But no matter how much I wanted to, I could just never convince myself to go back. There are so many flaws with this game, but like narratively, like you could understand what they were trying to achieve, and like the little parts of like gold that they had throughout the whole thing, I really enjoyed it. It's probably here. It's here. Great game. Love Noctis. Noctis is one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters ever. Um, if we were ranking characters, he would be like up here with Squall. Noctis was amazing. I loved the sacrifice at the end. For some reason, I always remember this quote of where he like at the end of the game he goes like thank you dad or something, but I played the Japanese version, so it was like arigato tosan or tosan arigato, and he starts crying and stuff right before they go for the end of the thing, and that was like really impactful for me. And this is weird because it's almost like the Nelson Mandela effect, the Mandela effect, where like I've never been able to find that scene ever again, and I've talked to people about it, and they're like, nah, that never happened. And like I vividly remember that scene and how emotional it made me. Like I was like, holy fuck, like almost in tears, like wow, that is just such an emotional heavy moment. And I've never ever seen that scene again, or anyone that I've talked to about it has never even experienced it. So like I don't know whether that even happened or not, or I just fucking dreamt it. It's like a different story, but whatever, it's cool. Anyway, I love the dynamic between all of like the brothership of the people. What I didn't like about the game is that you like essentially went to like three towns. You went like you never actually experienced Insomnia to the end of the game. You start the game, you've left Insomnia, so you missed the entire prologue of the game. You have to watch Kingsglaive to understand what happened there, or you get like little tidbits in the game. I think they patched that up for the Royal Edition, but anyway. You never really experience that in game, and then you go to like this shitty little like beach shack, and then you go around to all these like empire like what would you call them? Like war bunkers. I don't know. You go to these places and you like kind of bring them down, and then you're just like kind of going around and collecting the like Lucy Eye stuff, and then all the while the Empire's doing stuff that I just don't really understand, and none of it like I don't know. I played it once; it just doesn't really make sense. And then Luna dies in that place. Luna Freya was her name? Yeah, Luna Freya dies, and that's meant to be a really emotional moment. Except you've never like you haven't seen her for the entire game, so it's just kind of like whatever. And then like the ending stuff happens, and like it all like eternal night falls, and you age up like 10 years, and that's like where the game started to click for me. It's just all the other stuff to get to that point. Like I think the ending sequence in that game really cool, but it's like it makes it a shit payoff because like all of the path that we took to get there, like it was just a whole bunch of nothing. Like you could have just like put me in that end area and had me play that. I would have thought it was a better game. I would have been like, oh man, I really want to know like how we even got to this point. This is really cool. And then if I had have experienced the rest of the game afterwards, I would have just pretended it never happened, you know? But unfortunately, we don't have that experience, and so it's just I like the like aspect of a road trip with your boys, and it's like your last dance kind of thing. But it just never really vibed for me. So that's why it's in the middle. Okay. Where does this go? It can't be here. Like, I think it's better than Dawn Trail. I think it's better than Endwalker. I think it's better than 12. I think it's better than 4. But I don't think it's my third favorite Final Fantasy of all time. So I've messed something up here. Hold on. We're putting it here for now. This is not where it's going. It's just that I don't have to click it, so I can figure out my thoughts on all of this stuff here. I like I like 10 better than I like 4 better than I like 10, and I like 12 better than I like 10, but I think 10 is a better game than both of these. As in, like, the turn-based style and, like, the way that you interacted with the game and, like, the way that it flows, the balancing and all that kind of stuff. So, this can go back up here. It's just, no. This will have to go down. This will probably go down. This is better than those, and this is behind it? But I don't think that these are better than this. So it's gotta be this. This is actually it. Right? Does that look right? To me? I mean, I'm asking me. Does this look right to me? Yeah. Yeah, I think it does look right. Okay. Final Fantasy 16. Really good game. I'm not usually a big fan of the action RPGs, and I think that this game would have been a better game if it was turn-based. I am one of the types of people that thinks that turn-based Final Fantasy is the way to go. If they go back to their roots, then it can like bring the series back to glory. Um, but I love the set pieces. The Archon fights were some of the most like gorgeous things that I've ever seen in gaming ever, man. The spectacle of that is insane. Unfortunately, I had to play them on PlayStation 5 and not on my PC, and so there were like frame rate issues and stuff, and that kind of sucked. But it didn't take away from my experience of the game itself, and so I had a lot of fun. However, where it lacked was narratively. The game had like I enjoyed the narrative, but it was just missing those little bits of charm in the middle and stuff. You know, that's what I just didn't click with it. As much as I would have like when I did these games, and even like down to like 32 and like the charming stuff of re that makes me want to put this up because I think that remake Rebirth is better than 16. Rebirth was a better game than 16. Does it show that on? Is it this? Is this how I feel? I think it is how I feel. Now that I'm looking at it, I do think that like this is not as good as 12 for me, but it is better than 4. And even though even though Rebirth had its flaws for me, and I didn't like it, somehow it is my 4th best at this stage. Back to 16. I loved Clive and Jill. Their dynamic. I love that they still had love for each other after all of that time. They got to explore that love. They got to like support each other through their journeys and their trauma, experience their traumas together and work through them. They were just a really cool pair. I liked Clive and Joshua's dynamic when Joshua was dead. I didn't like their dynamic so much when they were like alive together because it just kind of felt like a cop out. However, I did like their dynamic when Joshua died again. So I like that heartbreak that Clive had to go through and how he genuinely felt really, really sad when he had to let go of his baby brother. And I guess there's like a little bit of an aspect there of it's almost like dreamlike that he did get that short amount of time to re-spend with Joshua. and like reconnect and figure out what's going on and stuff. What I didn't like is that there was absolutely no reason for Joshua to hide that he was alive from Clive. And so they were like running around each other, and Joshua was doing it on purpose, and that just didn't really make sense to me. There's probably an in-game reason, but like I forgot it because it just didn't make sense to me. But other than that, like I liked it. I didn't like Ultima as the final boss, and another big gripe that I had with the game is that you didn't get an icon. A was it icon? Icon fight for Odin. That sucked because after the Bahamut one was like the big spectacle of the game, and then after the Bahamut fight, I was really excited to do like a big Archon fight against Bahamut, and you never got it. And I can't evaluate the DLC. I haven't played the DLC for this game. Maybe on the replays and stuff. I'm probably gonna get this on PC and play through it, and with the DLC stuff in it. So we'll get to experience that for the first time at least. Tactics. Good game. I like politics-based storylines and stuff. I just don't like tactics games so much. I had a lot more tolerance for them when I played this game way back. I played the War of the Lions version on release, so uh, so I did actually get to enjoy the story in a game that I like kind of enjoyed back then. But I feel like this is going to be a slog for me now. Tactics games aren't like my favorites of all time. Tactics Advance, I can't really even remember it. It was that forgettable, so we're going to put it here. It's probably better than this, and it's going to move up as we go through. But like, because I can't like, at least I remember things about all the rest of these games. I can't remember a thing about Tactics Advance, and like I put like 100 hours into that game when it first came out. Tactics Advance 2, I do remember though. So it's all right. It's probably here. Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind this. I don't really have anything to say about these games. These are the ones that like I'm probably going to like get the most out of the replays of these series from, like going back through these two games here in particular to re-experience them and remember them. But I'm looking forward to them. So why did I do all of this? One, because I have opinions about Final Fantasy. I have a lot and lots of opinions about Final Fantasy. I've been playing this game series since I was a child, and I loved almost all of them. I think at one point this was my favorite series of all time. I think in the later years I kind of fell off. I will still talk to people like I love Final Fantasy, and I'll still say that I love Final Fantasy. But my actual opinion is, once we started going away from turn-based, it started to die out for me. Actually, my love over the years, and I've been getting like burned. Like I was so hyped for Final Fantasy 13, it comes out and it didn't live up to my expectations, and then I was so hyped for 15 when it was coming through out, and experiencing like the release trailers and all that kind of stuff for that, waiting for that for 10 years, and it comes out and it's just not what I was expecting. 16 not so much. 16 I actually got to enjoy like basically blind, but my experiences from 13 and 15 like consuming as much like marketing around it as I could, and then getting my expectations up so high is that when the games came through, it kind of like taught me for future that now I don't consume any marketing for any games that I'm interested in at all because of my experiences with those games. And like it fundamentally changed me as a person. I can't be excited for marketing. I avoid trailers for things that I'm interested in now, so that I'm not spoiled or I don't get expectations, and I can go in there fresh, which I actually think is a better experience for me. But like that's how traumatic like these experiences were for me, getting so hyped up for them, and like consuming all the marketing and going through, and then it just wasn't for me in the end. Yeah, that is how I see how I'm ranking these. It's a bit of a mixture of like gameplay and how much I enjoy the story, my personal opinions as of now. So the reason that I say as of now is my plan is to replay these games. I'm going to go back through. I'm going to replay most of these games. So I'm gonna. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna commit to playing Type Zero. I'm gonna give Type Zero another try. Um, I'm gonna replay most of them. I am not playing 12 Revenant Wings because I think it would just be like annoying to try to emulate. And I'm not playing Lightning Returns. I have no interest in playing this game whatsoever. Like, no, thank you. And the other one that I'm not playing is Final Fantasy 14. I'm not replaying all of the expansions for that. It's going to take me 2 months of story quest grinding to get through it. I'm not interested. If anything, I'm just going to watch a YouTube video for like story recaps of this. And then after I've gone through and I've replayed all of these games, that'll be happening over the next few months on twitch.tv/Boydeen. Once I've gone through and I've played all these games, we're going to come back to this and we're going to redo our tier list. Also, we're not playing Final Fantasy 11, but for the sake of this, it goes here. All right. Thank you so much for everyone for coming to the stream. Thank you for hearing my opinions. Thank you to the people that are going to watch this on YouTube. I hope that I don't upset you too much about this and about this and about this. But if I do upset you about them, come and tell me why I'm wrong. I love arguing with people, and I will do it to the end of my days. So if you want to come and argue, you want to get in the boxing ring with me and try and convince me that I'm wrong, please come along. Thank you, everyone, for attending. That is my Final Fantasy series, mainline series tier list, and we'll see where this leads after I do all my replays.